Module 7, Recording 1. 1.
John F. Kennedy was President of the United States in the 1960s, from 1960 until his death in 1963.
2.
Marie Curie was Polish. She was born in Warsaw, the capital of Poland, but she lived a lot of her life in Paris.
3.
Laurel and Hardy were comedians and film stars. Their first film was in 1926.
4.
The Beatles were all from Liverpool. They were school friends there.
5.
From the age of about 30, Beethoven was deaf, but he wasn't born deaf.
6.
Mao Zedong was born in 1893. He was leader of China from 1949 to 1976.
7.
Tolstoy, Dostoevsky and Chekhov were all Russian writers. Tolstoy's most famous books were Anna Karenina and War and Peace.
8.
Galileo Galilei was an Italian mathematician and scientist. He was born in the 16th century.
Module 7, Recording 2. A.
He was born in New York.
B.
Where were you born?
C.
He wasn't French.
D.
They weren't from London.
E.
She wasn't happy.
F.
They were very late.
G.
You were right.
H.
He wasn't in.
I.
They were sorry.
J.
You weren't ready.
Module 7, Recording 3. A.
2006.
B.
1985.
C.
1990.
D.
1989.
E.
1878.
F.
1914.
G.
1804.
H.
1917.
I.
2030.
Module 7, Recording 4. A.
The Beatles were first popular in the 1960s.
B.
Napoleon I was Emperor of France from 1804 to 1815.
C.
Bill Clinton was President of the USA in the 90s.
D.
William Shakespeare was born in the 16th century.
E.
The Russian Revolution was in 1917.
F.
The first landing on the moon was in 1969.
G.
The Second World War was from 1939 to 1945.
H.
Mozart was born in the 18th century.
I.
Madonna's first hit single was in the 80s.
J.
Leonardo da Vinci was born in the 15th century.
Module 7, Recording 5.
Who really invented the telephone and the radio? Many school children learned that the Scotsman Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone in 1876. But the real inventor was Antonio Meucci, a poor Italian-American. He shared a workshop with Bell in the 1860s and made a talking telegraph for his wife, who was ill in bed, so that she could call him when she wanted something. But Meucci never took his idea to the US Patent Office because he was too poor to pay the $250 that he needed. So on February the 14th, 1876, Alexander Graham Bell took the invention to the Patent Office instead. Just 2 hours later, another inventor, Elisha Gray, arrived with the same idea. Too late. At the time, nobody believed that the telephone was an important invention. Bell's father-in-law, also a scientist, described the invention as a beautiful toy. And it was 2002 before the US Congress decided that Meucci was the true inventor of the telephone. But everyone knows that the Italian Marconi invented the radio, right? Wrong. Actually, Guglielmo Marconi stole his great idea from Nikola Tesla, a Croatian scientist. Tesla wrote an article in 1893, and in it he described his important new invention, the radio. But just 2 years later, Marconi took the idea to the US Patent Office and soon began to sell it. In 1909, he even won a Nobel Prize for his invention. In 1943, Nikola Tesla died in New York, a poor man. That year, the US Congress decided that Nikola Tesla was the true father of the radio.
Module 7. Recording 6.
Worked.
Studied.
Arrived.
Loved.
Needed.
Waited.
Believed.
Lived.
Wanted.
Liked.
Decided.
Invented.
Travelled.
Walked.
Started.
Died.
Module 7. Recording 7. A.
We want the bill. We wanted the bill.
B.
I needed some money. I need some money.
C.
They live in Spain. They lived in Spain.
D.
I like her. I liked her.
E.
They arrived at 8 o'clock. They arrive at 8 o'clock.
F.
We work hard. We worked hard.
G.
I loved chocolate. I love chocolate.
H.
I believe you. I believed you.
Module 7. Recording 8. Part 1.
My grandparents were both Russian, but they met in London. My grandmother's story was the most interesting. She was a servant girl in Russia, and she worked for a rich family. During the First World War, this rich family decided to move to London, and they took my grandmother and some of their other servants with them. But when they got to London, they decided they didn't need all these servants. They had too many. so they decided not to keep my grandmother. Perhaps they didn't have enough money to keep her. I don't know.
Part 2.
So anyway, they decided to take my grandmother for a walk in the centre of London, Oxford Street or somewhere like that. And they said to her, "Wait here, we'll come back in a few minutes." And then they just went away and never came back. And she waited and waited and waited. She was only 16 years old, a poor servant girl from a farm in Russia. She spoke no English at all, and they left her all alone in the centre of London. Can you imagine?
Part 3.
Anyway, she walked around for hours and hours trying to find someone who spoke Russian, and in the end she actually found some Russian people who took her to the Russian community in London. There was a big Russian community in Shoreditch in East London in those days. And there she met my grandfather. He was 48 years old and also Russian, and he decided he needed a wife to look after him. So he married my grandmother, and they had 2 children, my father and my uncle. It's an amazing story, isn't it?
Module 7. Recording 9. 1,
January the 1st.
2,
The 2nd of February.
3,
March the 3rd.
4,
The 5th of April.
5,
May the 7th.
6,
The 10th of June.
7,
July the 12th.
8,
The 15th of August.
9,
September the 20th.
10,
The 21st of October.
11,
November the 22nd.
12,
The 31st of December.
Module 7. Recording 10. A,
The 1st of February, 1943.
B,
The 3rd of September 1993.
C,
The 31st of December, 1963.
D,
The 13th of September 2002.
E,
The 23rd of July, 1933.
F,
The 30th of December 2004.
Module 7. Recording 11. A,
I was born in 1978 in a place called Swansea, which is a town in the south of Wales. My mum and dad were very happy, I think. I was their first daughter.
B,
I became interested in music when I was very, very young. I always loved music. When I was about 3 or 4, I got a piano. Not a real one, a toy piano, for Christmas. And I just loved it. I played with it for hours.
C,
I went to school in Swansea. I was happy at school most of the time. Music was my favourite subject, of course.
D,
When I was about 12, I began to have piano lessons. My mum and dad got a teacher for me, and I learned how to play the piano. It was quite difficult, but I enjoyed it.
E,
I went to university in Wales. I'm sure you know what I studied. It was music and drama. and I graduated in 1999.
F.
Last year, I became a professional singer. I made my first CD. I sang on a CD by someone called Hugh Morris. It was really exciting.
Module 7. Recording 12.
Or. Walk. Born. August.
First. Birthday. Work.
Module 7. Recording 13.
Daughter.
Girl.
Morning.
Learn.
Third.
Law.
Quarter.
Turkey.